Yes, hello. This is tape 7. I'd like to pick off to tell a little bit what's been going on. Still appealing to try to get my meds paid. For the past 2 months I've had to pay my own meds of Norprovin because I cannot use the generic. Way before I had acid reflux, I had a problem with it. I've been on the brand name for like 7 years, and the pharmacies is aware of it and everything, but my coverage had said they were gonna cover it in September, and 2 months later they decided they're not gonna cover it because of some, I don't know, some problems with the state not wanting to pay for them and stuff like that. So I don't know, I've been, having to spend at least close to $300 a month on my medication, which is not easy, being on an SSI check and having to spend half of it on your medication. I'm sure there's other people probably going through the same thing in in the state I live in, that they don't want to pay for their meds and everything. I've tried calling different places to see if there's any assistance, and nothing. I've come up with nothing. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with the future. It ain't easy to just take a medication after 25 years and just shove yourself on something else when a lot of different medications I've taken didn't work, and you still would have to ease off a little bit at a time to try into something else. Which ain't helping matters either is my psychiatric nurse. She doesn't give me the right amounts at times. At the pharmacy, it costs a lot more if you buy it by small quantities than if you buy it by the month. And of course, I never get my 30 days worth of pills on a script. It's always got to be 2 weeks here and 1 week there. When that's making it cost a lot more. It's very difficult, when you know the people that you're treating you do not want someone that's long term. And when last appointment I had with her was very difficult. I was crying, and it was difficult to make it there. And she saw no concern to have anybody check my blood pressure or pulse when they do know it does go high. She said after my appointment, if you can go find somebody in this clinic, then fine, have it checked. Other than that, couldn't care less. She wouldn't even get off her chair to come out to the waiting room. I was having a difficult time. It's up on the 2nd floor, and my panic was so bad. I was just in the doorway downstairs, and she showed no concern. One of the other workers, I don't know if she's a social worker, she came down and she tried to talk to me to calm me down and everything, but I have to hand that to her. But the psychiatric nurse didn't even care less. Even upstairs in the waiting room, she wouldn't even come out to the waiting room, nothing. Either you make it to my office, she told her social worker to tell me, or no meds. Your choice. It's like they wouldn't care less if you die, or crawl or whatever. There's no caring for people with agoraphobia. I'm finding that out. I also found out that that psychiatric nurse is the one that I have now, and the one I had previously had are both friends with people from the mental health clinic I used to go to, and there's no doubt that they are involved with trying to give me a hard time because their friends ask them to. I mean, she even during the appointment, I was there crying, having a hard time to stay, and she looks at me and says, why don't you go try to see if you can go back to the mental health clinic? I told her when I first seen her over a year ago what kind of hell I went through at that clinic. How could you want to send somebody back there when they're not well? As much as I am not well, why would you want to send somebody back to a place like that? To me, it was more insulting than if she said, go to the funeral home and choose out your coffin. That would be less hardship. It would be less hurting, what she said. you know. And then she gave me another appointment and said, for now. You know, what's the for now supposed to mean? It means to me that I'm not going to be there long till they could figure out how to throw me out like the other places did. And then what? You know, I can't even hardly go half a mile. I haven't gotten no rides in about a month because the person that takes me has been sick. They haven't been able to do our grocery shopping very much either. I can't seem to find any ride just to get one street away with someone that I feel comfortable with. It's always, you know, I've asked a relative and they don't feel good either, or they got excuses not to take me just to the store for half an hour, you know. So I haven't been out in a month. And when I came back from the clinic, my nerves were so horrible. I had panic in the house. My body was shaking. I was like that for about 3 weeks or better. I didn't think the panic was going to stop. I had them in the house, and there was not much I can do. I can't up my meds. Xanax, I can't go up. Norpinephrine wouldn't help much if I go higher. I'm so used to taking it for so long. And trazodone is just for help me sleep, and that doesn't do anything for panic. I don't know. I'm at the point I feel so discouraged. I feel so discouraged because I don't know how I'm going to afford all my life to pay the pills. I don't hold up much hope that I will get my meds paid again. When you don't got people on your side, you don't get things, you know. It's like I have Nexium for my acid reflux. It took 3 years, but they didn't want to pay for that either. But that got approved because the physical nurse, ain't against me. You know, it's not someone that wanted to hurt me. So the cost that got approved. So you know, you don't got somebody on your side. It's difficult. I wanted to get back to. There's a few things I wanted to get back to. One was that when I came out of the mental health clinic, I had an attorney, and we remained friends. That attorney and the paralegal that worked for the attorney, we became friends. I cared very much for both of them. The paralegal is like family to me. I loved her like a sister. The other one, the attorney, eventually we started dating and stuff, and I fell pretty deeply for that person. Loved that person more than my own self. Put that person before my own self. I trusted them 100%. And I, you know, for 8 years, you know, I was involved with them, but I don't know, when I stopped being able to go out there and to visit at their house, that's when they kind of pulled away and didn't come and visit me anymore and stuff. And the doctor who had gotten into trouble, the one that kicked me out of the clinic, when they got into trouble, that same attorney took their case. It's very devastating to pick up a newspaper and see a doctor that hurt you so bad, tried to hit you right in front of your attorney, and to find the person that's defending that person being their attorney it happens to be your lover. That was very devastating and shocking. I don't know. I would never be desperate enough to take a case to anyone that would have hurt that person the way that doctor had hurt me. I could have died without meds. That person knows it. I don't know. It just went downhill and downhill. I later on found out, you know, after 8 years, that I was cheated on. That I didn't know there was another person. There was other people that they saw. You know, I pushed aside remarks and thought none of it when they told me, if you knew me, you would hate me. I should have took that as this something, you know, that they must be pretty bad to worry if I would hate them. Well, when I found out there was somebody else, I took it very, very hard. that person was someone I thought I'd be with the rest of my life. And the next day after I found out about it, I ended up in an emergency room and the rescue with such chest pains, and doctors telling me, whatever is bothering you, you need to get out of that stress because you're gonna, I was on the verge of a heart attack, they told me. For a long time, especially since 2001, that person didn't come and see me. I missed that person so much. Would cry every day. There's not a day that went by that I didn't cry. I wouldn't wish that kind of hurt on anybody. To miss somebody that you care about, to feel that's the most secure person that you feel, secure with, and they knew that, and to know, they don't come and see you in every day, and then you can't even get to talk to them on the phone, and no clear explanation why. I think there's a part of that person didn't want to be in love with me, or didn't want to have feelings for me because they're perfectionists. Maybe I wasn't perfect. Maybe I wasn't a millionaire, or I didn't have a high-class career, or I didn't have a lot of money, or, although I never asked that person for nothing. I was sincere, honest, very loyal to that person, never cheated on that person. I loved that person more than I could ever realize. It still hurts today, even though it was in 2005 that I found out that I was cheating on. It hurts so much. I'm shocked that someone could slip by me. I watched carefully who I dated. I watched carefully and make sure I didn't find someone who was abusive or anything like that. And that wasn't the case in this case. They never talked mean to me. They never. We never talked. We never argued or anything like that. We never raised a voice to each other. Never called each other any names. Nothing. Got along fine. I always. They made it clear that they used to say to me, if I didn't love you, I wouldn't date you because I'm married to my work. So anytime they were missing in that, I always knew that they must be working. So of course I did not think that I thought that person was as honest as I was, and I found out that was a different story. And I don't know. And then I also found out that person had without my knowledge, had adopted a child with another person. Now, that part hurt. That not the part about adopting a child. I knew the person loved children. I wasn't against them having children, but it hurt that they adopted with someone else. If they were adopted alone, it might not have hurt so bad, but to think that they chose someone else, not me, that part hurts. The part hurts that people cheat. Chances are 99% they will cheat again. Right now, I'm at the point I don't speak to that person anymore because I feel our friendship was a one-way street. It's very difficult to be friends with someone that you care a lot more than friendship for. And that part, is very difficult with me. And, the part that I always tried to be there the best I can for them, on the phone, on the computer, anytime they were going through a tough time. And when I'm going through a tough time, they're nowhere to be found. I felt like I was, whenever I was used as, I felt I was used as, you're my friend when I need you. When someone else comes along, I don't need you anymore. I don't, that way. It was a friendship. And so I don't know, it got to the point, my dad needed an attorney, and we had a crisis on our hands, and I asked my friend if they would help, and they would get paid totally cash, right on the, right to them, and they had their paralegal call me and say, I'm too busy. I know if it would have been for anybody else, they would have took the case, and it hurt. It hurt real bad because they knew I couldn't go out searching for a lawyer, in my condition where I can't get out far. So I just walked away because I don't feel that person ever loved me. I mean, I was blind. I thought they did, But I don't think that person loves anybody but themselves.